Hey everybody, how's it going? I am your host Adrian, coming to you almost live from lovely Petaluma, California, here in Studio MC2 at Quicksurf Internet Studios. The Geekinator is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Do feel free to head on over to techpodcast.com and check out all the other technology-related shows over there as well. I'd like to encourage everybody to subscribe to the show if you have not already done so. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a subscribe link up above me. Otherwise, you can visit us on the web over at quicksurf.com, and in the show notes for every episode, I have a subscribe section, and there are links to allow you to subscribe to an Ogg Vorbis feed, an MP3 feed, or a standard def H.264 or high def H.264 feed using your podcatcher of choice, be it iTunes or some other podcatching application for downloading and managing your podcasts. With that, let's go ahead and get into the cool stuff that I found for this episode. Over at Make, I saw this really nice YouTube video that they posted. It's called Switches Made Simple. Colin Cunningham put it together. He always does quality work, so it runs through a basic explanation of switches and what types of switches there are and how they work and that sort of thing. Pretty neat. If you're just beginning electronics, this is definitely something to look at. From Mashable, I ran across this article. 3D printers help build a Robohand for a 5-year-old. Apparently, a 5-year-old had a problem with one of his hands. He was born with amniotic band syndrome. Basically, it means he had no fingers, and so a 3D printer was used to construct a hand for him for that hand. Really cool. Definitely check it out. This little kid could really use a lot of help. So, pretty neat. Definitely check it out. From Ars Technica and their gear and gadgets, product news and reviews, Hewlett-Packard is going to embrace Android for its next tablets. They're pretending WebOS never happened. But really, I thought WebOS was okay. Well, I don't understand. Anyway, they are, basically transitioning over to Android. So we'll see. We'll be keeping an eye on that to see what comes of it. In other news, Opera, the Opera web browser, is moving over to WebKit from its own proprietary browser. They're making this conjunction. Don't really have a good explanation as to why they're making the change, but I think that it's if they can contribute meaningfully to WebKit and bring a lot of the stuff that they had in their proprietary rendering engine over, the vast majority of that functionality over to WebKit, I think that will make WebKit all that much better. They have stated that they did make a submission to WebKit for some CSS stuff that they had in their own browser. So, hopefully they continue that trend, and every browser that uses WebKit will be that much better for it. I follow this website called Yanko Design, and there's this post that they have here that I thought was pretty cool. Honda has this City Pod. It's the Type E concept. It's similar to a Segway, except it's designed for, basically to fit a human inside. I thought it was neat. Definitely check it out. They have some pretty cool renderings, and it looks cool. So AOL, according to TechCrunch, and Engadget has also posted about this. AOL confirms that they have purchased gdgt or Gadget. They are, the founders, Peter Rojas and Ryan Block, started Engadget, and AOL bought Engadget, and so they left and started gdgt, and AOL has now purchased gdgt, so they'll probably be there under the AOL umbrella for, some amount of time before they go and strike out and do their next thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that follows. Over at Gizmodo, I saw this really awesome video posted on YouTube. Gizmodo it was highlighting it. It's a bunch of cockpit video from an F-18 pilot. It was shot on GoPros. Really neat. It's quite long, 12 and a half, almost 12 and a half minutes long. And it's basically a bunch of cockpit video, you know, the perspective of the cockpit of the pilot doing a bunch of stuff. Really awesome. I'm a huge fan of flying, even though I don't own an airplane or do any of that other stuff. So I thought it was cool. I thought I'd share it with you. I was like, hey, I like to fly. I like military airplanes. This guy had a GoPro in the cockpit of his F-18 while he took off from an aircraft carrier and did all kinds of cool stuff in the air. Definitely check it out. From Hackaday, a table saw to cut solar panels, steampunker extraordinaire, Jake Von Slat loves the idea of solar-powered garden lights soaking up the sun's rays during the day and powering an LED in the evening. Commercially available solar lanterns, as Jake, you, me, and everyone else on the planet have discovered, are universally terrible and either don't have solar panels large enough to charge battery or only last a year or so. Jake's solution was to make his own solar lanterns, and in the process, he came up with a great way of cutting his own solar panels. So that's what this article is about. Pretty interesting. I don't think it's something that I would try to do myself, but definitely something to look into if that's what you want to do. From Uber Gizmo, that's right, Uber Gizmo, Raspberry Pi aluminum case. For those of you who love tinkering on your Raspberry Pis and you need a nice case, there's this really awesome aluminum case for Raspberry Pi. It's made by Bark Designs. It's aerospace grade 6061 aluminum and it's CNC milled, so it's carved from a block, and it protects the Raspberry Pi computer system from all sorts of damage, accidental and intended, and acts as a giant heatsink. So, and it looks neat. Definitely check it out if you are into Raspberry Pi stuff. All the external ports are easily available. I don't have a price. Oh, $25. Wait, no, that's for the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so consumers will have the choice of engraving their designs on the outside of the cases. Prices vary in range $69.95 to $74.95. It's 2 times the cost of the Raspberry Pi itself, but it looks cool. And that's all I have to say about it. It looks cool. Also from Hackaday, automatic custom Eagle schematics. There's this guy that is, he started Hack EDA, and the premise is really simple. Most electronic projects are really just electronic Lego. You connect your microcontroller to a sensor, add in a battery, throw in a cue through caps, resistors, etc. And what Hack EDA does is takes all those basic building blocks, microcontrollers, power sources, sensors, etc., and creates a custom Eagle schematic with all the parts your project needs. Automatically, just boom, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I'm sure you have some control over it. And then you can go and hit auto router and voila, you have a board design. So pretty neat. Definitely check it out, especially if you're an Eagle user and you like to do that sort of thing. From Wired, the best of both worlds, make Lego and Arduino projects. This is a make manual or book or whatever you want to call it from makesign.com. And it's how to integrate Lego projects with Arduino projects and do all sorts of cool robotic type things. This is actually a book that I will be getting myself. So look for it. I'll probably do a review of it when I get it in, and you know, it's something if you want to get, definitely go for it. From Engadget, Raspbmc 1.0 brings a stable media center to your Raspberry Pi. That is right. After a year of effort of the Raspbmc team has announced that it has reached the 1.0 milestone, it means the team is confident that they've delivered a stable distro to run a port of the XBMC Media Center specifically designed to run on the Raspberry Pi. Now, the Raspberry Pi comes with an HDMI connector, so you can, in fact, hook this up to a TV, and they have all the hardware on there to do in-hardware H.264 decoding. So, you know, all the video files that you normally find on the internet, the H.264 files, they all will play no problem. And because this has XBMC, this will allow you to run your media center off of this. So pretty neat. They've just finished the recently finished XBMC 12 final, and it supports DTS decoding in software, which is neat. In addition to many other codecs supported in software, you can purchase licenses from the Raspberry Pi store for MPEG-2 and VC1 hardware decoding for just a couple of bucks. So pretty awesome. Definitely check it out. I'll be looking. I'm looking to order a couple of Raspberry Pis because I have a couple of projects involving the Raspberry Pi that I'm planning in the planning stages for right now. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. And you know, if you need a cheap media center, Raspberry Pi is only like $35 for the one that's got Ethernet built in. I mean, it's like dirt cheap, and you get a lot of processing power. So definitely look into that. That will do it for this edition of the Geekinator. As always, everything we've talked about is linked up in the show notes. You can find those online, quicksurf.com. Shoot me an email, geekinator@quicksurf.com. Please do subscribe to the show if you have not already done so. You can also send in show suggestions if you want to see something on the show, or you want me to share something on the show, you know, and want to draw my attention to it. Definitely send in an email. And with that, I will see all of you on the next episode. I'll see you then. Bye.